Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and I welcome all of you back to another Bloodborne OST reaction, where tonight, ladies and gentlemen, okay, remember when I said that we would be covering like the final bad boss fight in Bloodborne about a day or so ago? Well, there is still one fight that I think sort of skews between good and bad, because the Bloodstarved Beast is what I describe as it's the Capra Demon done right. Because the Bloodstarved Beast's battlefield isn't particularly big. Well, it is, but it's sort of like scarred a little bit by several pillars that are all around the arena. Then, of course, its ability to inflict slow poison on you, which makes it the first real boss in the game that makes you have to scroll through your wheel for consuming items to get rid of poison. The fact that it always swipes to... It's either the right or left, but it always does this attack, so you always know when to dodge it. It gets a little bit faster as the fight goes on, so I'd say the difficulty is a little bit more balanced, because you get the impression, well, as its name suggests, it is a beast in a state of frenzy. And by the time you beat it, you can uncover a little bit more of the lore of this game the further you go into it. But I will say it is a little bit more of a stepping stone in terms of like the difficulty, because there are some bosses later on in the game that are difficult for reasons that ought to be difficult, and there are bosses that are not difficult for difficult reasons, owing to a huge battle arena, due to a large contingent of factors that make the game feel artificial in their difficulty, like the Celestial Emissary and Rom the Vacuous Spider. And then Bloodstarved Beast sort of balances this, because one, you fight it like very early in the game. It's also a completely secret boss, so you don't really win or lose anything by killing it, except for getting a whole bunch of blood echoes. And it's, again, if you happen to stumble upon this early into the game, it's once again a perfect reminder that there are bosses that are going to involve more complex dynamics in their movesets and what they can inflict on the player. So there is a fair bunch that it's good that it's done this. It's like I said, it's the Capra Demon done right, because it's done early, it shows you things that you may have to be prepared for, and it showcases even more of some of the devastating things the blood has done to the people. And this is actually, to be honest, the third boss in a row that we've done this, from the Cleric Beast to Gascoigne, and now Bloodstarved Beast is just another brick in this wall that we have to subdue. So let's get to it, eh? I mentioned the thing about frenzy before, ladies and gentlemen, because even the music has a very screechiness to its low. It's like it's performed on a violin without any resin on its bows. So a lot of its low tones can be quite buzzy, and a lot of its higher tones are very squeaky. But I think that is absolutely done on purpose for this. What do you guys think? also makes this fight so much better than Capra Demon is that the music is way more interesting. And I know, again, it's a later in the series that they want to do, but it's still, again, it just works. And that's I can't emphasize that any more times throughout this, because it's like the third or fourth time I've said it, but it works because these things work in unison. So much of what makes great boss fights work in these sorts of games is how everything melts together. The music, the scene, the context, the design, the fight, the place in the story. This is like, again, you may argue this is just all filler and no killer, but it's once again a good reminder that, just as Gascoigne said, we might turn into one of these beasts sooner or later. And Gascoigne was probably our own untimely fate. It's okay. This is almost like, again, one of those examples where if you play through Bloodborne and you've got into like the second half of this boss fight, you know fine well sometimes you're like doing things out of sheer panic because it can be a little bit overwhelming, especially because Bloodborne does play rather differently to a lot of Dark Souls and even Elden Ring. Not just because it plays at 30 FPS, not just because a lot of, also, but again, it's just you don't really begin to realize how hard it can be just when you start losing control and you almost like the blood-starved beast succumb to frenzy and you succumb to the chaos that is happening all around you. It's I think that's why, again, it's a reflection of what we might untimely become, or maybe we have already become this if we just straight up just attack without any real motivation outside of escaping the dream. Which begs the question, what really is our motivation when at the end of the day in this game? What exactly are we tasked to do? What is our purpose? What is our quest in Bloodborne? You tell me, because I'm only asking because I don't know either. But that might be a discussion yet again for another day. So I hope all of you guys have enjoyed this, and I cannot wait to see all of you guys again in the next video. Take care, and bye-bye for now.